What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Snizzard. And so here we have Snizzard posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories. Snizzard does come with his bow and arrow, which has a cobra arrow and snakes going around the bow, which looks really nice. Then he does get two different snakes. We do get a coiled up snake, and then we do get a lasso snake. His final accessory is an energy effect, which does go atop his crown, which looks really nice. Other than that, Snizzard doesn't come with any other accessories, so with that out of the way, let's have a closer look at Snizzard. And so here we have a closer look at the Lightning Collection Snizzard, and I have to say Hasbro did a decent job with this character. Not gonna say it's anything amazing, but there are some high points and some low points on this character. For starters, absolutely love the head sculpt. They did a really good job capturing the look of the costume from the TV show, so it does look really nice. I do like the teeth, that they're all exposed and they're not all straight. They're kind of like misshapen and coming out of his mouth really nicely, so that's a really nice detail. I love the red eyes with a little slit for his iris. Then we do have his scales right here, where you can see they did highlight them with some green paint, so that does look good. We do have his crown right here, which is done in this really nice gold color, and his head just looks really nice. Now moving on to the rest of his torso, it's not 100% accurate to the TV show. In the TV show he had more of a gold color to him. This is kind of just like beige with a dark shadow, which this dark shadow is accurate, but it should actually be highlighted throughout his belly right here. It's not just supposed to be up here, it's supposed to be throughout the costume. But yeah, I do like the pattern that they did here. The scale work looks really good and it's really sharp. On the back, he does have a fin, which is made of a transparent plastic, and that does look good. You can see they did paint on his pattern right here, and unfortunately on mine, his fin here, his sail is a little bit misshapen, which can be taken care of with some hot water. I do like the overall design of Snizzard here. Snizzard, I don't know how you guys want to pronounce it, but yeah, he actually does have a second maw right here, which it has the teeth exposed, and yes, these teeth do get in the way of articulation, and that is one issue. You can see they do bend as you try to like move his arm. It's a little bit annoying, especially because these might break off if you keep trying to force it. It's not so much of an issue on the back, it's mainly just in the front, because his arm has to come forward and you can see it already dragging some of those teeth behind it. So that's not a really good idea, and they made these out of some really firm plastic, so those don't have much give to them. Another design choice I'm not a fan of is when you open up his maw right here. It does open up nicely, but you have to hinge his jaw forward, and when you hinge his jaw forward, there's this big gap right here. There could have been another way Hasbro could have done this, but you look at that, it is very, very not done well. I do like the coloration inside his maw here, and what they should have done is done this in that same red plastic, or at least painted this. But yeah, unfortunately this looks horrendous, and I know it's supposed to look horrendous, but it looks horrendous for all the wrong reasons. You can even see inside his head right here, which there's other ways they could have designed this, and unfortunately Hasbro will Hasbro whenever they get the opportunity. So that's a feature I'm a little bit bummed out about, that it's not as good as it could have been. Oh yeah, Hasbro makes some questionable design choices. I do like the fact that his arms are two-toned, but it kind of does make it to the point where his arms have to be like this. You can't angle them forward so the joint is in the front, and it looks a little bit strange when you have his elbow bend and you have the lighter scale part of the cobra like that, and then the inside of his arm is lighter. A bicep swivel would have solved all that issue. Just give him a bicep swivel and this just a regular hinge. That way you could rotate the top and still have this work. Questionable choices by Hasbro. I do like the cobras though, and they do look really nice. They did paint the eyes on the cobras. Could wish they had painted the fangs too. I do like the fact that you can actually hinge the arms both ways. I don't know if that's a feature that was supposed to be there, but I do like that. Then going on to his legs, where we have his legs just coiled up with all these different snakes. You can see some really nice texturing on those snakes. They did a really good job sculpting them. We do have another snake right here, a snake with an open mouth there, another open mouth snake here. So he just looks really nice, and I do like his tail right here. It is made of a softer plastic, and well, actually it's made of a softer rubber because there is a wireframe on the inside of it, allowing the tail to bend. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of thick right here at the base of the tail, so you don't get too much movement out of that. It does get a little bit easier here at the mid part of the tail, which, I kind of wish they had sculpted it going down more. That way he's not taking up so much shelf space going back. That's about as low as it articulates, and that's still taking up quite a bit of shelf room. So yeah, questionable decisions by Hasbro. And it's like I say, Hasbro will Hasbro whenever they get the chance. There's a lot of things that they did right on this figure, but some questionable things that should have been designed differently. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Snizzard posed and compare to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Snizzard posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Snizzard posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Men's Girl 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. And for one final comparison, here we do have Snizzard posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's have a closer look at Snizzard's articulation. Now, he does have some interesting points of articulation, and he articulates better than I thought he would. For starters, he has a ball joint here at his head. Now, why didn't they just make that a hinge? I don't know, but it does move up and down nicely, but it also does tilt side to side. So yeah, that's a little bit weird, and it does rotate as well. In all honesty, this should have been a hinge. I don't know why they went the extra mile and made it a ball joint. A hinge would have done just as well. And the only issue is it pops off fairly easy if you try forcing it to go higher than what you need to. So yeah, a hinge would have been much better, but at least you can get some open mouth poses with him, so I guess that's good. His jaw is hinged up and down, so that does move really nicely, but if you have his head all the way down, that hinge doesn't work. So yeah, 2 hinges would have been much better than what they gave us. And then as you guys saw, if you can move his jaw upwards, his second jaw does open up, and these snakes do hinge out as well. You're supposed to hinge his mouth forward, but again, that just leaves that big gaping mouth, and I think that would have just been much better than that. That is unacceptable at this stage, and how far Hasbro develops these, that should have been addressed so much sooner. And it even looks like mine is coming, yep. Mine just popped out of its placement. I'm gonna have to heat that up and force that back in, but yeah, that is a little bit unfortunate. At least it didn't break on me. Moving his jaw back into position. His arms are on ball hinges, so those do go out to the side to about right there. It looks really goofy with his snake hands. But yeah, they go out, go all the way around a little bit. Actually, those are much firmer than these, so yeah, you're not going to get his arm going all the way around. If you force it, you might be able to, but you might scratch the paint, so do be aware of that. We do have a swivel and hinge here at the elbow, as well as a swivel and hinge at his cobra hand. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it, a cobra hand. Then surprisingly, he does have a ball joint here in the middle of his torso, so it does move back, forward, side to side, as well as gives us some nice rotation. His legs do kick forward to about right there. They kick back to about right there. They do swivel at the thigh. Underneath all these snake coils there is a swivel. Then we do have a hinge in the knee going back to about that far, and that does rotate as well. He has rotation here at his foot, as well as a hinge which goes forward, back, and that has forward facing pin for rocker ankle. Then we do have a ball joint here at his tail, so that does move up, down, side to side really nicely, and you can rotate that if you really want to. Then we do have a wireframe, which, like I said, it would move, but the tail right here is really thick. It mainly just articulates at the middle of the tail and after that, so yeah, that is a little bit unfortunate. So that's Snizzard for you guys. So what we're going to do now is get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Lightning Collection Snizzard pose for my final thoughts, and overall, aesthetically he looks like a really nice figure. Engineering wise, it's a lot to be desired. The way they engineered his mouth opening could have been done much better. I don't know why he has that gaping hole in his maw. It boggles the mind of what was Hasbro thinking when they designed him. They should have put more effort into his engineering rather than just saying, oh, we're gonna make him, because yeah, the engineering on this figure kind of sucks. As well as the quality on this figure is also kind of lacking. The fact that a lot of his teeth come bent out of packaging, that's a little bit disappointing. And the fact that he got loose really fast. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, just handling him and getting him in this pose really weakened his ankles to the point where he hardly even stands under his own weight anymore. The fact that he's even surviving this long without toppling over is amazing, because those ankles are very loose now, and that was just by me messing with them for my review. I haven't even taken pictures of them. So yeah, there's a lot to be desired with this figure. I don't know what it is about Hasbro, but they're starting to mark up prices very high, and they are starting to really lack in quality. We saw the Red and Yellow Ranger 2-pack had a lot of quality control issues, and this, it just has engineering issues, and I hope that the ankles are just bad on mine and it's not a reoccurring issue, because this is a really top heavy figure and he really doesn't have a good center of balance, with most of the weight leaning forward on his snake head and then that really heavy thick snake tail. It makes this figure a nightmare to stand and try to balance, but overall, looks wise, he looks good. And if you're a fan of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and you need villains in your collections, Snizzard here is gonna look really nice. But if you're just looking for a cool snake figure, there's other cool snake figures out there. I'm sorry guys, but yeah, he's just not worth the pickup unless you're a die-hard Power Rangers fan. With that being said guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Lightning Collection videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified anytime I upload a video. Until next time guys, I'll see you later. Take care everyone.